But the new thing that we're seeing ads for are fasting windows dependent
Mm,
on your body type. So there's like 864. And I'm just curious how much of that is like clickbaity. And if you were a fan of intermittent fasting or even doing like those 24-hour fasts that I know some like they tell a lot of women to do like 24 to 36 once a week, especially if you're like postmenopausal, and how much
yeah.
of that is accurate.
I feel like all of like a good amount of these ads, like the thing for fasting for your body type, are just clickbaity.
Okay.
I would say that they're highly BS. There is no research out there that actually there's no research out there that actually says what body type you are. Actually, that's kind of like the thing that that's kind of like the most misconceived notion in fitness is that this person's pudgy, so we're gonna call him mesomorphic or whatever like that, and this person is this. When the reality is that actually has no basis in science whatsoever. That was I think it was done as like like I think it started off as almost like a marketing and advertising or sales kind of angle, but I'm not exactly too sure about that. But when it comes to fasting, what we know about it is actually actually not bad for digestion. So if people have IBS, if people actually have digestive issues, then it seems like doing anything from a period of like 16 to 24 hours for a fast is actually pretty good for your digestion.
Mm.
Apart from that, if we're thinking about burning fat, if we're thinking about, yeah, let's just say if we're thinking about burning fat, there is nothing to say that fasting is actually better than caloric restriction. There's nothing to say that fasting is even good for the muscle. Actually, I find that fasting is actually highly detrimental to if you want to keep and retain, if not build some muscle. And and the thing about fasting is that it's just a really cool way to reduce calories from going into your body. And I know we're talking about this, and I'll drop in one more thing about fasting is that not many people talk about this. It's the fact that in a certain subset of people, when people fast, especially women, they find that there are higher levels of anxiety when they
Oh.
are actually in prolonged fasts. And I've seen this with myself. And another thing they don't talk about, say, with like fasting is when people fast, they have almost uncontrollable hunger and appetite at the end of the day. So if they fasted for like 24 hours, you usually see someone just like scarfing down whatever calories that they've stayed away from that entire day in like one shot.
Mhm.
So it almost makes your appetite uncontrollable. Now, does it work for some people? It's great, especially for like people who are trying to like throw anything up at the wall to see if it sticks. Like people who are severely obese. I mean, like I would say try everything. Usually, I actually find that these fad diets like keto and fasting they work really well for people in that subset because
Mhm.
it gives them fast results and it gives them something that is very simple and it also helps them like lose a shit ton of fat, without necessarily having to work too hard. But for people like say who are, maybe like if they're 15 pounds overweight, maybe like your husband or
Mhm.
people like us, where we're pretty fit, we're where we want to be. Then fasting is one of those things that is not necessarily going to be beneficial from a long term angle. And my whole thing is just like as we get older, so I'm 41 right now, and as I get older, I mean, I'm just looking to get stronger and to build muscle in a very slow and sustainable way. And to me, like the holy grail of body transformation or just like getting healthy in general is just to drop body fat and to increase muscle.
Mhm.
So with fasting in general, I don't think it's one of those. It actually helps you do one thing. It's not necessarily going to help you do the other. When it comes to just like diets in general, a lot of it is just like super fluff. And I do feel to a very large extent, I believe that everything has to be again tailored to the person. And I'm not talking about like body types. I'm not talking about like personality types, but maybe who knows.
Blood
But
types is a thing.
yeah, the
Have you seen
blood
that?
type diet. Yeah, I have, and it's
Mine is like the most restrictive. So I'm like, I don't care if this will make me look like Giselle because I wouldn't be able to eat anything.
yeah, and the thing about those blood type diets is just like it's just not accurate. I mean, it's not as accurate as we all think it is. And we're actually like something that I say about science in general is that we actually have advanced very significantly, but there's a lot that we don't know. So a lot of like the stuff that people are kind of like using single studies on and just like pushing out there as like the truth There is still a lot more research to be done behind it. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't believe in eating for your body type. I don't believe in eating for your blood type. I do believe in like just keeping things as simple as possible and then tuning it to your lifestyle.
Mhm.
And yeah, if certain foods don't agree with you, then we're not going to eat certain foods. But in general, we try to keep things as less restrictive as possible and as more attuned to what they do already.